I'm here to talk about how to start your handmade business while you are still employed full-time. I have a lot of experience with this as I am still employed full-time while I have a handmade business. I'm a public school teacher and I've been teaching for 26 years, and the past 14 years, this is my 15th now year, I have had a handmade business in addition to my full-time job. It's difficult, but not crazy, not doable. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people out there who do this. I'm certainly not the only one, but there are some things that I can tell you right now that will help with managing all of this, managing your time, because I have had people in my email newsletter or on social media ask me, or even in person, friends in person, they're like, I don't know how you do that. How do you actually do what you do? How do you manage your time? And they're asking me in earnest, you know, they really want to know. So I thought I would make a video that talks about exactly how I do this. I've analyzed how I do it. Some of these things, I mean, I've talked with other people and I realize that some of this is not innate. So if you think this is just old hat and old information, then this video isn't for you. Okay, for those of you who are interested, excuse me, all right, one thing that you can do, all of these are suggestions, okay, and it's what works for me, excuse me, it's what has worked for me to help manage working full-time and having a handmade business. So, all right, the first thing is enlist help where you can get it. So this may be from your spouse. You may enlist that help with childcare, like the spouse is going to take care of the kid while you work on the stuff. It could be your spouse who is old, or excuse me, your children who are old enough to do a certain job. You might employ them and teach them the value of work. It depends on what you do, of course. Like I do soap making, and so that's kind of dangerous. I've never had my child make soap, but she can certainly put labels on lip balms or shrink wrap things, or even, you know, help with making lotion or lip balm or things like that that don't have dangerous chemicals involved. She also, since she was 11, I think, has worked with me at the farmer's market, and I've taught her how to sell, and also it teaches how to get up at an early hour when you don't really want to and go work. There's a lot of value in that. So, but it helps me. I mean, at the very least, I've got somebody there, so if I need to biff off to take a pee, I can do it. Friends can help you with vending as well. If your spouse is watching your small child, then friends you have might want to come sit with you at your show when you are actively selling, and you know, they can help that way. There are lots of other ways that these people can help, and if you need help, I recommend you ask for it. I'm not good at that. Full disclosure, I'm not good at asking for help. But if you can recognize this thing is taking me too long, or this is not a good skill I have, and you know you have a friend with that skill, then ask them for help. Offer to pay them for their services. You can, you know, that's part of how I do this. Okay, what's next on my notes? Okay, the second big bullet point thing. Use every minute during the workday, okay? And that's... yeah, use every minute during the workday. So when you're at your employer's job, you have to do that job, okay? I'm not saying do your side job there. No, I'm not saying that. But you have to learn how to multitask, okay? So it's always worth it to put in a load of laundry before you go to work. That's happening in the background. It's one thing that's being done while you are not there. So it's always worth it to take that 5 minutes to throw that laundry in. Okay, that's one example, you know, or dishes or whatever. Anything that can be done in the background while you're working on something else should be done. While you are waiting for certain things, while you are waiting for, you know, like if you're at a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment or something and you're sitting there waiting, you can make lists. You can plan certain things, different aspects of your business. You can plan. When you're driving, keep your eyes on the road. But if you enable your phone, that was in the picture for this video. If you enable mine's an iPhone, so Hey Siri, if you enable the feature where you can shout at your phone and ask it to do things for you, that's helpful because I have ideas a lot of the times for things I need to do at home. So I always tell Siri to remind me when I get home. That's a fantastic thing. That's something you can do at work as well. If you have a minute and you're working alone, you can holler at your phone to remind me when I get home to, you know, like print and pack the soap order, for one example. Remind me when I get home to order essential oils. These are examples of some of the things that I tell my phone to do. And then I forget about it. That's why it's so helpful is I forget about it. But it is an example of using every minute. You know, when I have the idea, it's a way to write it down, I guess. So it's a way of writing everything down. I need everything in writing. And those reminders that come up on the phone are not just a sound. It's in writing. And I forget about it, and then I drive home, and I pull up, and my phone goes doop-a-doop-a-doo, and I'm like, what is that? And even, I'm getting used to it now, even if I forget what I said, I'll be all, my reminder, you know, and then I feel happy about it because, and sometimes I remember, sometimes all I have to do is hear the sound and I remember, oh yeah, I have to do that thing, but not always. And you shouldn't have to, that's what reminders are for. So, using every minute of your workday, multitasking, and, using your technology can help you do that. My next note says, number 3, set aside time to work and then you work. So you're employed for certain hours of the day. My hours are, you know, like 7:15 to 3:15, whatever, 7 to 3, whatever your hours are. It doesn't matter. When you're working, you work. Now, I'm not talking about, well, I mean, I could be. At working for your employer, that's fine. I'm not going to lecture you about working there. I don't know what your work is. I'm talking about when you are doing your work for your handmade business, okay? Whatever that work is. And it may be fun, okay? It may be when you're creating things, but that's still the work time for your business. So my notes, I wrote down, when you're working, work. Focus entirely on that thing and do it. There is a technique, and I'll link to it in the description. It's called the Pomodoro technique that I follow a lot of the time, and it is very helpful for productivity, very helpful for focus. So I'll leave that link for you. When the opposite side of this is when you're working, you work. When you're resting, rest. Okay? If you are either working or you're resting. That's going to be your life. That's going to be the way it is. Okay. But like watching TV or something is not resting because you can always fold laundry while you're watching TV, or you can always do something else. There's all sorts of things that are TV work to me. Putting labels on products is TV work. That kind of thing. So, when you're resting, I recommend you rest. I recommend you not do much of anything when you are resting. Here's the note I wrote. I have learned for myself, I report to my employer job at like 7 o'clock in the morning. I am good to work until 6 p.m. After 6 p.m., things start to get sketchy as far as my brain and focus and what I am able to do. So if I don't get my things done by 6 p.m., now I'm off at 3:15, right? So I've got that much time. So, 2 3/4 hours. I've got that much time to get something done. It usually ends up being 2 hours a day, 2 hours extra a day to work on business stuff. And then I'm done. But I'm still working where you're like, oh, I still have to manage my household. I still have to do that kind of thing. Well, yeah, you still have to. So when your brain is fading, that's when you do mindless things like folding laundry. and putting it away, or sorting it, or doing the dishes, household things like that, checking email. It doesn't take a lot of mind work to do that. Okay. So that's how you're going to do it. Will you be tired? Yes. Yes, you will. Excuse me. Is there sacrifice? Yes. I think this is the fourth point I have. I wrote down, you have to decide when you are going to have a handmade business and how you're going to manage your time with your employer work and then your personal work, your business work. You have to sacrifice something. Something has to go in your current life. People ask me, how do you do it? How do you do it? Well, I have a very strict sleep schedule. I get up when the alarm goes off. So sleep is often the thing that is sacrificed. I'm sorry to report. But another thing that should be sacrificed that I strongly recommend is television. If you're watching any television at all, you need to stop. It's a waste of your time. Oh, but Amy, the news, the world's on fire and everything's falling apart. That doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. If you stopped watching the news for a week, the world is going to continue to turn. But since you stopped watching the news, you were able to focus on something else. And I guarantee you, focusing on your handmade business is going to be more pleasant than negative news coverage. So, okay, well, Amy, I have shows I watch. Yeah, well, don't. Watch them later. Watch them when you're resting. When you choose rest time, that's when you can do that. Use technology to your advantage and, watch them when they're recorded, or figure out a way to record them and watch them later, because it's a waste. Just stop it. Just stop watching television. I do watch a show. Okay. I watch Game of Thrones. That's 1 hour per week when the season is on. That's 1 hour a week of television. That's pretty much what I watch, for real. That's literally how I do it. How do you do it? I don't watch TV. And then you either are going to have to get up earlier in the morning if you are a super early bird and work before you go to your employer work. Working on your own business happens in the morning for you, then do it in the morning. For me, it's after. 7 a.m. is pretty early. And I get up, I have to get myself ready slowly, i.e. have to have some coffee and breathe in and out and consider my day and watch my brain wake up. I need that time. So I get up about 5:15, 5:30, and over that next hour to 6:30, slowly get ready and then go to work. So my big point of that is I don't work early in the morning. I work after school on my stuff. So, and then I'm good until about 6 p.m. for that. So when are you going to sacrifice or what are you going to sacrifice, I guess, so that you have more time? You might have to sacrifice, if you always go to brunch with friends once a week, you may have to sacrifice that and do it once a month or once every other month. I don't know if that's shocking to you. I don't know if that's, seems like a lot of time, but listen, if you want to have your own business, it takes a certain amount of time and it takes hard work. It does. Of course, it can be done. There's millions of businesses out there in the world. Every business started as an idea, and you have one, and you can start your business. You can, but it takes time and it takes effort. I'm not here to waste your time about that. It does. Along those lines of productivity, excuse me, here's the fifth thing I wanted to say. 5. The fifth thing I wanted to talk about is you have to schedule your rest time. You have to schedule days off. I do this for myself. I schedule days off. When I don't schedule days off, my body will shut down and will take a day off. Like, for real. When I schedule a day off, I may or may not get out of my pajamas. I may stay in pajamas all day. I might get out of bed just to pee and maybe eat a little bit, and that's it. I sleep extra. I watch shows. That's when you binge watch shows on this day off. I might You know, I like to get a pedicure every once in a while. I might do something like that. That might be the most effort I expend on a day off. But I don't go like anywhere. I don't go to an event. I just stay home with my family and do a bunch of nothing with them. As long as it's nothing and doesn't require a lot of effort, then that's what I do. I do that. I try to do that once a month, but my business work is seasonal, so I can't always do it once a month. So my big vending season is mid-May through mid-November. So about 6 months of the year. So the other time of the year, then that's when I can schedule more time off. I'm still working on other things. I'm working, like making this video, you know, is work. But it's more relaxed pace. I have more time because I'm not vending as much, because I vend at farmers markets. So that's a full, 6 months of once a week shows. So it's a lot. But that's how I do it. I use every minute. I enlist help. My husband is my employee for my business. It's him and it's me. And we do most of the work. My daughter helps me at the farmer's market, so that's good. I use every minute of the day. I multitask every chance I get. I set aside time to work and I focus. I use productivity techniques for that. I sacrifice a lot of TV and time with friends. I don't go out much. I don't get out much. Oh well, what are you going to do? If you want a business, then you have to work at it. You have to work hard, set aside the time. And then I schedule days off so that I can, reset, so that I can have the energy to keep going. That's what I do. What do you do? What do you do to make this happen? Or have you thought about what you're going to do? Ask a question in the comments and let's keep talking about this. I want to know what you do. This aspect of having a business is only one part of it, but I wanted to share what I knew with you, and I want to keep doing that. If you're interested in learning more about this, you can sign up for my emails about my online course. My online course goes deep into the back end of business, of having a handmade business. And that's what I have, and that's what I can teach you. And it's called Your Legit Biz. And if you click the link that's in the description and sign up for those emails, then you will know when the course is next available. So you'll get all of the knowledge that I have for business, and we can keep talking and keep in touch that way. So let me know your questions in the comments, or if you have specific questions about being employed full-time and then starting your handmade business, and I will answer them and we'll keep the conversation going. And until next time, thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it. Please remember to click the red subscribe button and click the little bell next to it so you get notifications of new videos when I make them. Okay, thank you so much for being with me today, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.